the bans that have come out so far.
So Fiora, very decent top lane ban. Prince Philip has been playing it quite a lot recently. He is not that singed Malphite 2-trick pony anymore. Malphite does come out as a ban though, because obviously you don't want to give
Can't
Prince
tell
Philip.
Not surprised.
Yeah, not surprised because it is one of Prince Philip's favourite champions, and also very meta right now. The hard engage that Malphite provides is incredibly strong. Anivia banned out against Rayon Mort. That is a pick that Rayon Mort will pick if he gets the chance. He is very well known for that, Anivia.
We've seen that in the qualifiers as well. Or not in the qualifiers, but we've seen it come out in the past and to great effect.
Yep, and Kalista, Corki, Elise. Elise being banned out in jungle. She's a very strong jungle pick, and Scuddy is a very, very good Elise player. Kalista and Corki. Now, Corki is something that I am quite used to seeing banned. He is being played in the mid lane and now also being played as AD carry, and actually being, since the nerfs, has been moved back down to that AD carry role where he is still very strong. Kalista is the only ban that I think is specifically targeted against Sebla. You wouldn't usually see a Kalista ban coming out, but she is one of those top 4 AD carries right now that is very strong. Has left open Gangplank for keys though, and you know, Gangplank has remained a almost 100% pick and ban rate in the LCS so far. He still is ridiculously strong if you can get him to that stage in the game, but they have foregone both Poppy and Kindred here.
Yeah, so I mean, Gangplank Fiora is kind of still that king and queen of the top lane, and I feel like if either of them aren't banned, they're going to almost instantly be picked up. On the other side, as you say, Kindred and Poppy coming out. Now, Kindred has started to really climb the ranks in terms of junglers, and especially when you're going to see things like Elise banned out, it's kind of Kindred, or it's kind of Rek'Sai or one of the marksman junglers. You've got the Quinn, you've got the Kindred, you've got the Graves that can come out. So
interestingly enough, Graves isn't banned. Scuddy plays a very good Graves, and it's still on the table should anyone want it. It's still a very, very strong champion to pick up at the moment, and I am surprised it's got this far through the rotation, actually. I actually imagined that Scuddy might want to pick that up for himself. Poppy has gone through for the Null Titans, Poppy being that kind of flex pick. We know it's unlikely now to be jungle. We haven't really seen much professional Poppy in the jungle, but top lane and support, likely now going to be top lane. I think that suits Prince Philip quite well. He wants to play these high-impact top laners, and Poppy certainly is one of those. Has recently received a few nerfs. Basically cut the early game damage on her Q. They've made the ultimate, when you use it very close range and short wind-up, it does like a mini Malphite ultimate. It used to be 1.5 seconds, it's now just 1 second. And they've also increased the cooldown on her heroic charge in the early game, so you can't consistently use that over and over again. It's some small nerfs to Poppy's fairly strong early game, but she still scales very well. So
I mean, to be fair, she was pretty terrifying.
She was very terrifying.
I don't think they're kind of unnecessary nerfs, but as well, we're going to see Lucian and Braum locked in. So Lucian is a champion that we've seen a whole lot of play on from Ayuki, and in the current meta is pretty unmatchable, I would argue, in the early game.
Probably the most contested AD carry right now. Ezreal obviously still has a big place in the meta, as well as Kalista, who is banned, and Corki, the other AD carry. So generally the big 4 is Corki, Kalista, Lucian, and Ezreal. Lucian has been one of the most contested AD carry picks in the game, just because of his ability to be a lane bully. He is a huge lane bully, and he scales pretty well as well. He either can go the burst route with Thunderlords, or more recently we've been seeing a lot of Korean AD carries go for Fervor of Battle to allow him to scale that little bit better. Because as you know from this patch, teams like to take it a little bit slower, and obviously
we're starting to actually see the late game.
Exactly, because teams know that it's so easy to snowball. A lot of teams will play it safer, so late game generally becomes more of a thing. I'm really interested this patch. I know it's kind of irrelevant to this, but Cogmore changes have made him scale and hit his power spikes a lot early, because you can level your W on Cogmore now and get the attack speed bonus, which just means that you hit a power spike slightly earlier.
Well, one of the things that I am very interested in is we've got a Caitlyn locked in, and as well, the trade's still going on. This could be Recycle taking Gangplank mid, which is something that was kind of, it's been talked about a lot on analyst desks and on caster desks, but we've very rarely seen it. I mean, we've very, very rarely seen Gangplank at all. He's kind of almost 100% ban rate.
Yeah, I'm just going to note that Titanium Fang, I thought it was Scudsy's Smurf, but it's actually not Scudsy. Scudsy's on holiday. So Titanium Fang is actually subbing in for XL. So this is a sub they've brought into the roster. Thank you, Vedius, for that one piece of information. I knew Scudsy wasn't on his main account for some reason, so I assumed it might have been his Smurf. But no, it is actually a sub-jungler being brought in here for XL. And actually, I don't know much about him, but solo queue-wise, looks very good. So I haven't really had a chance to talk about the compositions. I know you can't see them up on your screen, but I'll run you through them quickly. It's XL. It's got Lulu in the top lane. Gragas in the jungle, who's seeing a little bit more of a rise in the meta just because of the recent changes. His clear speed has gone up a little bit, slightly. He does a little bit more damage, easier to charge up that drunken range. Gangplank mid, which I know that Recycle plays quite a lot, and Caitlyn Thresh bot. They've got kind of protect the Gangplanky Caitlyn kind of thing there with a Lulu in the midst. Yeah, it's a very viable strategy just because of how much damage Gangplank can do. But, you know, it's kind of like a protect the Gangplank Caitlyn. You can use that wild growth on either of those kind of high priority targets. They've got good peel in the form of the barrel toss or the cask throw from Gragas and also Thresh, who is a pretty decent peel in his own right. So they're probably looking to either skirmish or when they fight, it'll be allowing themselves to peel back for Gangplank and Caitlyn just to do that damage from the back line. They don't really have pick apart from the Thresh. So, you know, whenever you have Thresh, you can make a pick composition work, but they don't really have the burst apart from the Gangplank. They can probably try and lock up people with the Thresh and then the Caitlyn traps, obviously the huge slow from Glitterlance, and then just allow Gangplank to burst them down. But they'll probably do their best to poke with the Lulu, the Gangplank, and then if it comes to a teamfight situation, it's all about peeling back for Gangplank and Caitlyn.
I think one thing about this composition as well is there's a relatively decent amount of siege potential in there. I mean, obviously you've got Caitlyn, which is, if not then one of the best siege AD carries in the game. You've got your Thresh for kind of the pressure of landing a hook. You've got Gangplank to throw out those barrels, get that harass down, and then you've got a Lulu and a Gragas to disengage if they try and get onto you. So there's certainly potential for at least setting up siege scenarios across the course of the game. But obviously the thing is with siege, if you don't manage to get ahead, then you're going to be in kind of a lot of trouble.
They've got a huge siege here. You're incredibly right. Braum is very good at anti-siege. He can block a lot of the siege potential that teams have. And they've got decent wave clear in the form of Lux as well. That laser comes off cooldown pretty quickly in the later stages of the game. And her Lucent Singularity is great at clearing waves. Lucian also has the culling. So, you know, I definitely see the siege potential of this team. We're actually seeing less and less siege happen in League of Legends right now for some reason, just because it's far easier to make a pick and then snowball a tower or an inhibitor just off picks these days than it is to go full out siege, because it just, the way the death timers work is just far easier to take low risk approaches like going for picks.
I think as well, it's a matter of, if we have a lot of caster AD carries in the meta currently, like Lucian, like Ezreal, you kind of, for a siege composition, generally speaking, obviously there is room to maneuver, but you kind of want an attack-based AD carry. I can't get my words out.
Yeah, usually
an auto-attack-based AD carry.
That's
what I'm trying to say.
You're very right. And Caitlyn is an auto-attack-based AD carry. You know, sometimes we'd see Corki mid, and it would be two sort of heavy AD, you know, Corki's not heavy AD, but you know what I mean, two marksman-based champions that would allow that double AD composition that we've seen rise through League of Legends over the past years. That allowed very good siege. The issue with the siege here from XL is, you know, the only person that is going to reliably do damage to the turrets is going to be Caitlyn. Obviously, Lulu can, but you're really relying on Caitlyn for the mainstay of his damage there. So it's going to be poking people. It's going to be poking up the way people away from the turrets and then using Caitlyn to try and siege onto them.
Yeah, absolutely. And we'll see if they're going to be able to get that going for themselves. Let's take a look at the Twitter tag there. It is the hashtag ESLPrem if you want to let us know what you think is going to happen in this game. But we are on to Summoner's Rift, ladies and gentlemen. Let's kick off the first game, not only of the day, but of the entire season. It is XL up against the Null Titans. And let's head on to Summoner's Rift.
And when you look at the Null Titans composition as well, it's a little bit difficult to work out what they want to do. They have decent pick in the form of Braum, and obviously if anyone gets close enough to Kindred, she will do huge amounts of damage. But realistically, I think they're going to allow Prince Philip to stay in that top lane and split push as much as possible, because eventually he will just be able to out-duel Keys completely. There's no way that Keys will be able to deal with a late game Poppy. So they'll probably leave Prince Philip up in that top lane and then just try and either pick with Lux, clear waves if they're trying to go against that siege. They'll just try and anti-siege and allow Prince Philip to split here, because otherwise, you know, if you're looking at the competition you're going up against, it's going to be very difficult to team fight this competition, because you haven't really, unless you're catching Caitlyn in a binding or you know, catching her with a Braum Q, it's going to be difficult to get on top of her because of the Lulu.
Yeah, it certainly is. And interesting start coming out from the Null Titans. We might have a little bit of a lane swap kind of scenario.
Just in case
you're
worried.
We are just sorting out a couple of issues with the overlay, so we will be in game in just a minute.
You'll get a radio broadcast.
Yeah,
of it.
we'll talk you through what's happening so far. Just before we kick off as well, since you can't see anyway, I am about to tweet out a poll. So let us know who you guys think are going to be able to take this game. Make sure you throw your vote in. It's on the hashtag ESLPrem. But so far, Null Titans kicking off. They've sent Lucian up to the top lane.
Yeah, and looks like Outrage is just walking into the enemy jungle. And Titanium Fang and Keys just having to deal with a bit of poke coming up from Braum while they try and take their jungle down. And like the lane swap was initiated by Null as well. So they didn't want to go up against this Thresh Caitlyn lane because you generally tend to pick Caitlyn when you want to deal with a Lucian because it's one of the only AD carries that can effectively deal with a Lucian just because of her range. Yep. She can keep herself safe and often do very, very well in that matchup. Recycle just going toe-to-toe. There's already an engage here. Keys having to flash.
Keys is all on his own here. He has had to flash away, but the concussive blows are stacking up, and he's going to get stunned out here. Keys is going to be going down for first blood. And now we see Recycle and Titanium Fang just trying to survive this one. They're going to be able to get underneath their towers, though, but it is a fantastic start for the Null Titans.
Yeah, so Null Titans, successful invade there. They started their red buff. There we go. Successful invade there. They started their red buff. They had basically Outrage keeping consistent vision on where both Titanium and Keys were, and no one dealt with him. They let him sit there, harass them while they were farming the jungle, and all it took then was for Prince Philip and Larkin to move from their red side, follow up on Outrage, and then get an easy pick onto Keys, who unfortunately flashed into a pincer maneuver by the Null, and now they've rotated up to take that top lane turret. So really fantastic lane swap initiated by Null, and it's worked out for them very well.
Yeah, it certainly has. And now they're going to be punishing onto that tower. We're going to see Sebla and Stormdorm going to be pushing on towards this bottom lane tower, and Keys has now arrived as well. Still level 1 on Keys. Not a great spot to be in right now if you're looking through the eyes of XL. We'll be able to get the overlays up on your screens shortly, so you'll be able to see, but it is XL on the blue side and the Null Titans on the red side. But the Null Titans, they're going to be able to get not only the first kill of the game, but they're going to grab themselves that first tower of the game as well, donating all of that gold to Prince Philip. Yeah,
and they actually managed to bounce the wave really, really well here. They've stacked up a huge wave, and now Prince Philip is going to have that pushing towards him, which will be really great for his position. XL are going to have to do the same thing, otherwise Keys is going to be mega behind. Doesn't look like they're going to make that happen, though. This wave's going to be too big, I would imagine, and actually Keys is going to have an issue. Keys is probably going to have an issue here because it may start pushing towards the side of Null Titans. It comes through, yeah. This eventually push, but in the mid lane, we actually just Recycle goes down to Larkin very, very quickly there. Unfortunately, just missed that happening.
Yeah, so Null Titans managing to grab themselves a second kill as well. So really good early aggression coming out from Larkin here. I mean, he's playing that Kindred, which is a champion that you want to use that early power that you have available to you, and he's doing it to great effect so far.
Prince Philip just freezing that top wave. Yeah, that was a really nice piece of early pressure from the Kindred, and Keys missing a siege minion that won't be helping his morale after that start. They know where Titanium Fang is because they've got a decent ward there on that Wraith pit, and he's going to spot it out immediately as he smites the Wraith away, or rather the Razorbeak. They're actually going to switch their mid lane mid immediately here as Keys starts taking damage from Outrage and Luke. And they're going to try and go for an early push onto this mid lane tower. This is I think this is an odd decision because Gangplank, especially in that mid lane, he needs that farm. They're going to catch Larkin.
Onto Larkin, and they're going to go for the exhaust. The flay is there. The barrel is down, but can they finish it? Yes, they can. The dot coming out from Recycle's Gangplank there is going to finish off the kill, and now they have a wide open mid lane tower to push onto. Rayanmort has been found, though. He's trying to defend this one. Already uses flashes, but there's Titanium Fang with the knock-up, and Recycle with a second kill of the fight. Teleport comes in from Prince Philip. He's looking to try and get something to happen. Sebla has to flash away from this one. And Null Titans, it looks like they might be able to defend this tower, but they do lose 2 kills, and that evens out the scoreboard.
Huge release of pressure here for XL as well. Keys was being pressured huge in that bot lane by both Luke and Outrage, and now they are forced to rotate mid to deal with this push coming out from XL. I thought this was potentially a bad decision, but they got a fantastic dive of as Luke oversteps his boundaries, almost gets
very
hooked.
Very close to getting hooked there. I feel like that was a very risky route to take to try and get to that mid tower.
Yeah, and they weren't in that much danger of losing it right there. I thought it was potentially a bad mistake for XL to try and siege mid against the Lux, especially since Lucent Singularity does clear things fairly effectively in the early portion, and she's level 3, so she does have that 3-point power spike in it. But they got a brilliant dive off. I just didn't expect that to happen. A 4-man dive, a brilliant flash engage by Titanium Fang allowed them to get 2 kills there and even up the kill score. So really well played by XL. But they're still having to deal with Prince Philip's freeze in the top lane. He's managing that really, really well. And they're actually going to have to rotate their bot lane up just to try and unfreeze that, because at the moment Keys is not having the same success in this bot lane.
No, he's not. Keys is really being zoned away. And let's take a look at the CS numbers so far in this game. We are going to see Ayuki currently 10 CS up on his lane opponent of Sebler. However, Sebler is going to have those assists. So let's take a quick look at the gold. And yeah, they are going to be just about even. And in fact, across the board, we've got some fairly even scores. This is about 300 gold lead in the mid lane in favor of XL, but then the same kind of lead in the jungle for the Null. So across the board, we're just about even. Only 200 gold difference between these teams.
And actually, I'd like the idea from Sebler and Stron to head up towards that top lane and attempt to pressure Prince Philip, because at that point, he was just having a free time farming. And they're actually going to force a reaction here from the Null Titans as Larkin starts up this Rift Herald. Titanium Fang going to come through. Here's Keys.
Yeah, Keys going to get the slow with the Glitter Lance. Larkin is going to be able to dance away from that one, but I'm not 100% sure what the plan was there from him starting off the Herald. Sebler going to get some damage down onto Outrage. He's got Prince Philip incredibly low. Outrage going to stand behind Prince Philip. Oh, Piltover nearly lands onto Prince Philip there as well. That was a little bit too close for comfort for him. But it looks like this should be a top lane tower in favor of XL. Sebler tanking a couple of tower shots, not necessarily for any good reason there.
So the freeze initiated by Null has been thwarted by XL. And this is the power of Gangplank as well. He can just clear waves in the side with his ultimate, and he does it very well. So I think Null have played this very well. They've stopped that freeze in the top lane. They exploited the fact that Prince Philip was wanting to stay in that top lane by going for the mid lane dives. And then they went up there with their AD carry, their duo lane, they put pressure on him and get the turret. So this is really good play by XL. They may forego the Rift Herald here. I knew that Larkin was trying to go for it earlier on. He does jump over the wall here. Titanium Fang smites away.
Yeah, looking for the blue buff, not quite going to find that objective. A good pink ward placement is going to deny vision until he actually jumped over. So Larkin can't quite find that one. The Rift Herald, though, is not going to be started off just yet. However, the Null Titans are heading towards this mid lane tower. Recycle is going to be there, but that barrel is going to be last hit. And if you can't get those barrels out, Gangplank's wave clear is pretty minimal.
Oh,
Rainmort's caught by a beautiful death sentence. Recycle doesn't have much HP, though, and he's stunned. There's the flash coming out from him to pull him to safety. Titanium Fang having to back away, not as tanky as he would like to be at this stage in the game. But the tower is defended, and nobody went down there for XL.
Problem is they've got very little damage. It was a really great hook onto Rainmort, but Keys is just not in a position to start bursting people with that Glitter Lance. You know, it can be very powerful once you get those high AP values, but he's just sitting on a Catalyst, the Protector here. Going for that Rod of Ages build as well, so it's going to start to ramp up as soon as he finishes that. Prince Philip couldn't freeze in the top lane, so he is just now pushing towards that second-tier turret. It's going to be good for Keys. He needed that release of pressure as Sebler walks over a pink ward, actually.
Yeah. Larkin definitely knows where he is. Going to throw out another ward, one of those brand new little dragon wards coming out there, and we are going to see the Lantern come out. Are they going to go for another pick? Outrage is going to be caught, but he has the Unbreakable, and he's going to be just about fine. He was level 3, now level 4. That's going to be the barrels just denied there by Yuki, and they're going to be able to quite comfortably clear this wave out. So again, both of these teams doing a good job to kind of match the pressure of their opponents and make the appropriate counterplays. Again, the gold still incredibly even, just about 300 gold apart right now. We're heading towards the time where Dragon could definitely start to be an objective that they can test now.
Yeah, and actually Dragon is contestable for the first one. So that the first Dragon is definitely worth contesting if you feel like you can. Outrage is still level 4. I'm not totally sure that he wants to be in the front line. He can get burst very quickly, but
Sebler's in trouble, and there's the laser. The knock-up denies it there when the heal comes out.
No.
And that's going to be Prince Philip just taking a whole chunk of damage from that Caitlyn. The rest of his team finally arriving on the scene. Sebler doing a good job to survive there.
Oh, Prince Philip, you denied your team a kill on the Caitlyn with that knock-up. Poor communication and missed time of both the ultimates meant that Caitlyn was knocked out of the Lux laser. I got to say, though, good pressure by Prince Philip because he needs to be that carry top lane. He's actually coming down to try and contest the Dragon with his team, and because of the fact that Caitlyn got forced back, this should be a free Dragon going over to the Null Titans.
It certainly should. And we are just going to see that Dragon go down. And, I mean, again, no significant gold lead because they weren't able to pick up the kill from it, but this is a game of objectives, let's remember. It's not necessarily a game of kills, so if the Null Titans can continue with this kind of map control that we've been seeing out of them so far, then they'll be in good stead to continue to take those objectives. And at this rate, it's looking like we might end up with a fairly long match. We're already 11.5 minutes in. There's only 4 kills on the board. There's only 3 towers on the board as well as that 1 dragon. So it certainly could be a whole lot of league coming up for you guys.
I mean, this is kind of an impasse now because
yeah,
those early turrets that you can take are very easy. The outer turrets are so easy to siege upon in the early portion of the game because it's very low risk. When you move towards these inner turrets, you have far more avenues of, I guess, inroading that the enemy team can try and catch you. So it's a little bit more difficult to siege on these inner turrets, especially with a squishy composition against something like a Lux binding or something like the Prince Philip engage. So they have to be careful when they're going for it. But Prince Philip is actually managing to freeze that top lane once again. Yeah. And XL going to have to find somewhere to put pressure down. It looks like it's going to be mid.
Yeah, it certainly does. And mid seems to be the big point of focus for XL so far. That seems to be the place where they want to be. We're not going to see Rayenmort throwing out that ultimate to try and deny this push, but he's out of mana, so can't follow it up with Elucent Singularity. And that is going to be the mid lane tower going down. So XL managing to find their 3rd tower of the game. They're really starting to take a lead with those.
All I'm saying is this freeze from Prince Philip has to be worth it now, because he's basically given up 2 towers because of it.
Yeah.
And he's forced XL's hand, and XL have come away the victors when they've gone for these siege. A nice hook onto Larkin.
Larkin could be in trouble here, but actually it could be a little bit of an overextension coming out. Recycle going to be tanking up that Culling, and Outrage going to be able to block a whole lot of damage coming out from XL. In the end, though, both teams just disengage from this one. Larkin decides against tanking the rest of those traps after that first headshot chunks it.
I've been really impressed with Strongdom's hooks thus far. I know that in the qualifiers he had a few really good games with the hooks as well. He's a superb Thresh player, and you're getting a first-class display here of him picking out targets left, right, and center. I think I'm yet to see him miss one. Obviously, that was potentially not a hook that he wanted to take. And I don't think the Null should. I don't think XL should be looking for these full 5v5 team fights right now. I don't think they have got the farm on keys or the item thresholds that they need.
Not the composition, really, but Larkin, again, going to be starting off this... Oh, goodness
gracious. Oh, my goodness!
He's just annihilated. I was going to say he's starting the Herald, but he's not starting anything anytime soon. And this is going to be going across to XL, so nice, easy Herald take. And Larkin, I feel like you maybe needed a little bit more vision before starting that.
Yeah, I totally agree. And he also started it by himself without the immediate backup of his team. Also, he has his ultimate. I think he expected to have more time. He was definitely not expecting that again. Fantastic Flash Gragas. Gragas Barrel. Yeah, Flash Gragas. great superhero name. You know, he definitely wasn't expecting Gragas to jump in there. So, again, really good mechanical play from Titanium Fang. That's 2 kills that he secured with those really amazing Flash body slams. And I guess Larkin just had no idea it was coming.
No, absolutely not. That is going to be Keys taking that Rift Herald buff as well. He's going to use that to push up the top lane and then decides to head back to base. As I believe the Dragon will be coming up soon. Obviously, as you guys are aware from LCS, there is a bit of a bug in terms of Dragon and Baron timers. So we're going to have to wing it a little bit in terms of when that's going to be coming up. But I believe it's fairly soon. And Keys recalling when he did would make a whole lot of sense if it is. And we are going to see as well that Strongdom is going to be trying to grab that Scuttler, and that's going to give them the vision around that area. And in fact, if you take a look at the vision, much more aggressive ward positioning is coming out from XL.
Super defensive now from Null Titans. They've got 3 pink wards in their own jungle, and that is really just because they've lost all those inner turrets. Oh, Sebla!
That's a good binding landing. That's the culling, and that's just going to be an annihilated AD carry. Strongdom trying to throw out the lantern, but you can't grab that while you're bound, and that is going to be the Null Titans pushing on towards this mid tower.
Yeah, that was a huge catch for Null Titans. Maybe they can look to do something, because the wave clear without Recycle is really poor. So they don't have anything to stop this push in the mid lane. They have to be careful of a dive as well. It's definitely on the cards as Prince Philip makes his way around. Strongdom and Titanium Fang going to have to back off. Don't even think the Gangplank... Oh, the Gangplank ultimate might be enough here. It really depends.
It's clearing the minions, but not quick enough. That's the thing. There's 5 members on this tower, and they are going to be able to finish off that objective pretty comfortably and head back away with no retaliation from XL. And once again, we see the gold move back to that 300 difference, which is realistically nothing at this stage. And I keep on trying to take a look at Gangplank, assuming he's a top player and pressing the wrong binding. We are going to see Recycle pushing down in this bottom lane.
So take a quick look at Caitlyn. Static Shiv Rush and the Berserker Greaves. Now, this patch, Static Shiv got a slight buff to damage. It will help the wave clear of XL to have the Static Shiv on the Caitlyn, so I think it's a very solid pickup. And I actually think Static Shiv is going to start to become more and more a good AD carry item to have, just because Rapid Fire took a little nerf and Static Shiv took a little buff. So the damage basically on the first, I don't know how to call it, the static. The first static damage, it's been upped a little bit. So it's again, a decent item to have first. And also the Berserker Greaves, because Caitlyn really is a heavy auto-attack based champion, as Larkin...
Oh, Larkin not in a good spot again. He's going to go on to Sebla, but there's another perfect death sentence, and Larkin is going aggressive no matter what. Titanium Fang on this front line, tanking up a lot of damage, but he is finally going to be stunned up, and that is going to be him going down. Ray and Mort finishes him off with the Lucent Singularity, and that should be a Dragon coming across to the Null Titans. I did lie earlier, by the way. Apparently the Dragon Timer is working now, so I was just looking too early.
Strondom gets caught here.
Strondom, a nice wild growth, keeps him alive, but there's the crit from Ayuki. That's the Essence Reaver really paying off there. And now the Null Titans can basically go wherever they like. They've got 2 men on the enemy's team down, and they can just take free reign of this map.
Kind of feel like that was poor map awareness and poor positioning from XL. They knew Dragon was coming up, or at least they should have timed the Dragon coming up.
Yeah.
And they had the timer obviously on top of their screens. And none of the team were in position to try and contest it. They unfortunately got caught out by a nice flank by Larkin, which resulted in a kill onto Titanium Fang. Once the enemy jungler's down, that is free Dragon. And you can see now, Null's vision has become more aggressive again. Now that they have a slight advantage after getting that Dragon, they've started to push their wards up through the river into the enemy side jungle. And this just is a display of confidence from Null after they've managed to pick up a good skirmish in their favor. And I think XL, they're trying to buy themselves time, because really they're waiting for Recycle.
Yeah.
He needs to get to the point where he's going to be a scary Gangplank. He's got... Oh, he missed.
I mean, he's on the way. He's got his Swifties, he's got his Triforce, he's got 2 kills. And I mean, realistically, right now, he is kind of the one that XL's weight is on his shoulders kind of thing. He's going to be the one that has to carry them right now. Because
both him and Caitlyn, yeah.
Yeah, I mean, a lot of the gold right now is funneled onto him, but I mean, we'll see. Obviously, both Gangplank and Caitlyn are very, very late game, powerful champions.
Definitely.
We'll have to see whether they can continue to just stall out at this point, because obviously Caitlyn will start to outscale Lucian. That is a fact in the late game, but we are going to see a little bit of a skirmish. Outrage going to be able to dash away though.
Yeah, he just gets out of that fairly easily. I've been impressed with Outrage. He's been very, very solid on this card so far.
Outrageously good.
He's outrageously good and managed to make some crucial picks. They do ward up that pink. He's not going to commit to taking it out, obviously, because he knows the position of XL. He's likely to get caught. And Strondom going to clear that ward out for free. XL's vision control has been better this game from what I usually used to see them. The Tracker's Knife is there on Titanium Fang. He's doing a good job of getting vision coverage where he can. And obviously we're seeing that combined Sightstone item coming out from Strondom. We're seeing a lot of the Koreans do the same thing. They actually forego going face of the mountain. They get this early 4 ward capacity support item and then build into other support items. Looking to see there's a Rift Herald going down, and they build something like Locket of the Iron Solari, which is what it looks like Strondom's going for. Makes sense against the Lux as well.
Yeah, it does indeed. That is going to be the Rift Herald given over to Sebla, so it looks like they're going to head up towards this top lane and start to push with that one, but Null Titans don't seem to mind too much. They're going to just start to push down in this bottom lane. I'll be interested to see how many people they send to try and defend this top tower. Looks like Ayuki is going to be heading back to base. In the meantime, we've got Ray and Mort pushing down that mid lane, but they need to send someone up top right now. The Rift Herald has already been killed. The buff is there, and there's a whole lot of minions that are going to start to push here. Now, Rift Herald obviously does not increase the tankiness of the minions like Baron does. It is just going to increase their damage that they're going to do.
Looks like all of Null Titans are going to rotate round. And actually, if XL had stayed there, I think they would have been in a very precarious position, because they would have been flanked by both Ray and Mort and by Larkin.
Yeah.
So this is, it's still fairly even, despite that dragon fight. That's 2 Rift Heralds, and the Baron has now spawned. Pause comes through. It was 2 Rift Heralds for XL, so they do get a bit of gold and experience from that. They have missed out on their first dragon, so they will have that lacking first dragon buff, should I say?
Yep.
Which obviously gives you a little bit of a power spike, just gives you that extra AD and AP, very useful.
Yeah, I mean, at the end of the day, the first dragon, it feels like not much at the time, but the later in the game you get, that 6% is going to mean much, much, much more. If you get to a point where you're on sort of 500 AD, 6% is a much more significant figure at that point. It's more like 45 something around that. Oh, I don't know. Maths is hard right now anyway, but...
So 6%, I guess, if you say they have, I don't know, 600 AP, you can work it out from there. It's pretty easy. It's all right.
Yeah. Anyway, it's 36 if it's 6.
Yeah.
Anyway,
See, you can't do maths, my friend. I set you up an easy one.
Yeah, you did. Thank you for that one. But we are back onto the Rift. The pause has ended, so I don't have to do any more maths anymore. Titanium Fang going to be grabbing the Rift Scuttler that is over near that Baron. Obviously, we're now at 21 minutes, so the Baron is onto the map. No more Herald to be taken down. And we'll see if either of the teams are going to look towards that Baron. Should XL be able to get the Baron with this sort of siege competition that they have got for themselves, then they're going to be in a fantastic position. Prince Philip, though, he's gone for that ZZ Rock portal.
Oh, he is going to be that annoyance in the top lane. Unfortunately, Keys can't do that himself. Interestingly enough, Keys is going for what looks to be a banner of command. I don't imagine that he'll go for the Locket of the Iron Solari. He's likely going to go for the banner of the command, which builds out of Aegis of the Legion. So he's going to try and push in that side lane against the ZZ Rock portal with his own banner minions. Yep. Looks like a ZZ Rock portal on Poppy, though. It's an interesting one. Does give him some magic resist.
Yeah.
So
this is one of the things about ZZ Rock that a lot of people don't realize is it's one of the only 2 items in the game that gives you both MR and armor. And against a Lulu and a Gragas and a Gangplank and a Caitlyn, you won both of those a lot. It's one of the best hybrid items, and it's actually incredibly god efficient as well.
Prince Philip misses a Q there, but he can duel Keys really effectively right now. Keys obviously 2 levels down here on Prince Philip, so that's how they're going to run with it. They're going to have this split push Poppy with that ZZ Rock portal, and Keys is just unable to deal with him. But he is a Lulu, so the more AP he gets, the better he'll be clearing waves. This is kind of why I find the Banner of Command interesting, just because I understand the theory behind it, but he's going to start to struggle to clear waves now for, I guess, a few minutes until he can build up some high flat AP. And to finish that. Once he finishes that item, though, he should be able to push back fairly well.
Yeah, absolutely. We'll have to see which one he does opt to go for in the end. But again, yeah, very, very defensive build coming out from Keys. I would have liked to see a little bit more of an aggressive build, especially when you've got that Gangplank that is going to get pretty tanky, pretty terrifying. But I guess on the other side of that coin, you are going to be helping the Gangplank get big and scary. So
we're already getting early armor penetration coming out here for Gangplank. He's gone for that last Whisper, I believe, already. Yeah, he's already picked up that last Whisper. So that's going to help him deal with the early armor values of just Prince Philip. I don't believe anyone else has picked up armor on the side of Null Titans yet. Not even Brown. He's just got that face of the mountain. Looks like XL. They're going to try and do their best to clear out some vision. They're currently in a poor position for the Dragon, as Keys again struggling with Prince Philip in that top lane.
Well, we'll see if they're going to be able to go for anything. Teleport is going to be available for both of these top laners right now, but obviously they're both very able of denying a teleport as well. But we are going to see Prince Philip heading back to base so that he's ready to teleport in should he have to here. See, it is going to be started off by the Null Titans, and they're getting it incredibly low. Larkin going to be looking for the smite. Titanium Fang comes in, but he can't land it. And that's going to be the culling actually used, as Sebla has found himself all alone with nowhere to go. He's going to be going down, and that is going to be the rest of XL running with their tails between their legs. They catch Ray and more, but it's not a catch they want to go for, as we're going to see Thresh just annihilated right there. Outrage going to be able to block a whole lot of that damage, and Null Titans walk away with a dragon and 2 kills.
Really great play, and specifically great play by Prince Philip. Just XL weren't respecting the vision coverage that Null had in their backlines and allowed for a fantastic flank for Prince Philip with that teleport. Came straight through, locked up Caitlyn against the wall, and it's easy turret, easy dragon here for the Null Titans, who are playing this so very well right now.
Yeah, they still got 10 seconds until those other 2 members of the opponent's team are up again, so maybe try and do something with that. They are heading towards this Baron area, but I would expect they're just going to try and deny any vision rather than actually start off the Giant Purple Worm at this stage. Although, they are going to be wanting to go for those Baron minions. Let's remember that Nutri is now their coach, and Nutri actually has an album all around the Baron minions.
Nutri and the Baron minions, that's a throwback to fantastic piece of casting in ESL Premierships finals. Yeah, so definitely going to start to try and get some vision coverage. I've been super impressed with the ward coverage from Nil Titans. Look at how much of the map they've got lit up. And XL, comparatively, very low amount of vision, just because they have been forced out and Nil Titans have just been having their way with this map right now. You can see both the red and blue side jungle of XL lit up, and they even have some of their own jungle and river lit up as well. So whoever is, I think probably Billy talking about that vision game, really well done, because they have played this fantastically so far, just in terms of vision. And actually, that's the key point here. The vision has allowed them to get those picks and get those amazing flanks with Prince Philip. And it's all down to where they've placed their wards, which has just been working out so well.
Yeah, they've got almost too much vision at this point, or at least in the eyes of XL they do. As XL right now can't really go anywhere without the Null knowing all about it. And the Baron area still pretty even in terms of vision. XL are going to know what's going on if they do choose to go for that area. Blue buff going to be donated over to Ray and Mort, so XL going to be denied of that one. Recycle not really going to be able to spam as much as he'd like. And once again, we're going to see Prince Philip just being an annoyance in that side lane. Doesn't have his teleport available, and is going to be in a duel with a Recycle here. Now, Recycle does have a teleport available, so in theory, if XL can find the right situation, they could force a 4v5.
Yeah, I don't think Recycle can duel Prince Philip, though. I don't think anyone can duel Prince Philip right now. He's super tanky. He's got that percentage health-based damage on his Q as Larkin.
Yeah,
not going to go in.
Do a little bit of damage to Strondorm, but they don't really want to go too aggressive for that Thresh. That's not really the target. They want to be on the crit.
Headshot right there.
Larkin. Yeah. That's going to be... Sebla doesn't quite get in range for that second one, but Prince Philip is just chunking out Recycle right now, throwing that shield on over. Going to be able to grab that shield as well for himself. And this ZZ Rock portal is just doing wonders for Prince Philip right now.
Yeah, Recycle potentially going to get dived here.
Yeah, here we go. Recycle in a little bit of a tricky situation. Outrage going to be able to block a lot of damage, but look at the Gangplank ultimate. Outrage trying his best to get away. He's not tanking the tower anymore, and he's going to be able to escape with that one. Nice shield coming out from Ray and Mort as well, just to keep his support alive. And the dive didn't quite go as well as they would have liked, but the Null Titans are going to be able to get away with it regardless.
And they managed to clear that ZZ Rock portal as well. That annoyance that is, I've got to say, MVP right there, Prince Philip. Absolutely brilliant Poppy ultimate to knock Gragas away, I believe. He got knocked out of the fight. And that is really the main form of CC they have for their engagers. You know, you've got the Thresh Hook, but you've also got the Body Slam from Gragas, which provides a lot of good zone control in team fights. He got knocked away, meant they weren't able to follow up during that Gangplank ultimate. There was no one left to push on in that team fight, should I say. And honestly, Prince Philip playing an incredible game so far.
Yeah, absolutely. We're going to see Outrage nicely tanking those minions so they don't die to tower. It's always good to see the little things like that coming into play, that all those tiny little advantages that you can find yourself are slowly but surely going to turn into something greater. But
it's warning bells for Null Titans right now, because that team fight, you probably say, was thoroughly won by XL. They had a huge amount of damage across the board. Yeah. If it hadn't been for that Prince Philip ultimate, then maybe they would have lost members there. And the damage, I think it's just warning bells for the damage that is starting to ramp up for them.
At the same time, I feel like that was more a matter of Null Titans going way over what they could actually achieve right there.
Yeah, I mean,
just strolling under the tower, taking a whole lot of tower shots for free.
Yeah, definitely. But just the Gangplank ultimate and the damage that came down, I think, was surprising. You know, they have to make sure they're looking out for that.
Death Sentence was so close to life.
This will be the 4th dragon of the game if this goes down for Null Titans, and XL have had a really poor control of that dragon area this game, and it's been difficult for them to make things work.
Recycle, you okay there, buddy? Prince Philip is going for it. He's looking for more, in fact. Gets the knock-up onto Titanium Fang. Can't keep going onto Recycle, though. And actually, there's a whole bunch of enemies around here, Philip. And he's not even going to flash for this one. Looks like he's just going to stroll away from that one. And there's nothing that XL can do about it. Prince Philip, I mean, as a long-time Singed main, Poppy seems like the perfect champion for him to play on, because you can just go where you like and no one can do anything about it.
It's a bit like his Malphite as well. Yeah. I'm going to say, XL prioritized the Gangplank here, and they gave away the Poppy, okay?
Yeah.
So you need, when you make that kind of choice, you need to be damn sure that your Gangplank is going to have more of an impact than the Poppy, because that's why you picked it in the first place. You considered it a power pick. isn't happening so far. He hasn't hit that spike. He's just hit that Infinity Edge, Triforce. He will start to really hurt now, but he still can't deal with Prince Philip. They're going to have to leave Keys up there because all Keys can do is wave clear reliably with that Glitter Lance.
Yeah. Well, Dragon going to be started off here for the Null Titans. This will be their 4th Dragon of the game, heading towards what will basically end the game if they can get 5, and they are going to be able to score that 4th one. Titanium Fang going in for this steal is going to be able to get a nice knock around, but Outrage is going to be able to escape from this one, and Titanium Fang won't be so lucky. Or will he, in fact? Jumps over, gets the heal, the Ignite is taking the Cullens there, but there's the Wild Growth! Larkin now in trouble. Titanium Fang tanking everything, but he finally goes down. Rayenmore finishes that one off as Prince Philip has entered the fight, and he's tanking up 4 pretty comfortably, to be quite honest. A lot of damage coming out to XL. The Flash Death comes out, and they're going on to Rayenmore, but Prince Philip going to be able to tank that ace in the hole, and that's going to be the hammer going down onto Key's head. That's going to be another kill for the Null Titans, and that's going to be a Dragon and 2.
Again, it's just the superior control of vision and presence around that Dragon area, allowing Null Titans to reliably take it time and time again. And now it's huge for XL, because if they lose the next one, that's a game-losing Dragon that they could lose. It's okay after the first one to have the next 3 taken away. If you lose that 5th one, it's huge. And we very rarely see games get to that point in time, but because the Dragon was taken so early on this game, and Null have religiously taken it, because in a way, I think they know they can force fights around it.
Yeah.
And they're stronger right now, so why wouldn't they want to force fights? Yeah. Prince Philip is an absolute monster. No one can deal with him.
And it's what we were talking about in Champion Select as well. They have a composition that is better at team fighting, so why not force those fights? And frankly, XL haven't really respected that, and now they're going to find themselves in a position in 4 or 5 minutes' time where they have to contest that Dragon. They can't afford to let the Null take that. And if they don't manage to deny that, oh, look at the damage onto Strondorm. He's going to be able to, Strondorm, sorry, he is going to be able to walk away with his life. But, I mean, that's the power of Lux right there. Rayenmore, he's heading way on his way towards that max CDR, and he's going to be able to start to, I mean, it's every, what, 40 seconds that ultimate comes off with max CDR?
Yeah, and they're going to give Reeskill some time to farm in that bot lane, because he definitely needs it. The thing about these team fights between the 2 teams, Null thrive in a messy, uncoordinated team fight because they have the Poppy. She thrives on chaos. She likes to be in the mix, throwing down Qs, and actually Reeskill potentially going to get caught out here by Rain in the bottom lanes, rather.
Oh, yeah, he is. Prince Philip and Reeskill going to be dueling away, but there's a fight going on as Strondorm has been found, and he's going to just be wiped off the map. Ayuki doing so much damage at this stage. That's going to be another tower coming down for the Null Titans, and they're starting to run away with this one. They're 9,000 gold ahead of their opponents at this stage. And the Null Titans, with this brand new lineup and the new coach of Nutri, they're looking absolutely fantastic in this game.
They're looking really, really solid. Prince Philip has been, he's just undealable. You just can't deal with him right now.
He just walks into both of the, or 2 of the carries right there, happily strolling on. And Sebla now actually in a whole lot of trouble. He's throwing down traps left, right, and center just to try and deny this Poppy. But he's going to go charging on in it. There's the laser. Sebla is going to go down. No, the shield comes out. The last thing going to help Pix is not going to keep him alive, because we see Ayuki arrive. And it was actually a 1-for-1 in the end, so well played by XL to at least trade evenly there. And actually, they're looking for more. Larkin's found by the death sentence. The damage is coming out from Rayenmore. He's trying to protect his jungler. I don't know if he's going to be able to, though. Larkin trying to find a different route out of the fight, but he's not going to be able to find it, and ends up going down.
Yeah, I don't know how much XL can actually take from this, though. They have lost their AD carry. It's going to be difficult to push onto these towers without her, just because that's the only reliable source of range damage they have for these turrets. I'm going to say, Strond, he's been really, really good with these hooks so far, though. He does just hook the Wraith there. Cullen comes down.
Does indeed. The Razor Beat going to be a gentleman and tank that one mostly. Laser not quite going to land. Prince Philip casually strolls into the lines of the enemy.
Look at his health right now. And he's picked up that frozen gauntlet as well, so he'll actually be more of a threat too. He's not bothered. He's going to walk straight through.
Fear. Absolutely no fear. Not even going to let them base. And single-handedly right there just completely takes control of the Dragon, the Baron area.
Exactly. And that's really important, because it looks like Null Titans are looking to make that their next objective in question. So that ability for Prince Philip to zone the entire XL team away, just because no one has the armor penetration to deal with him right now, apart from the gangplank. This is something that I think Sebler maybe should have looked to invest in earlier. Last Whisper would have been really useful. I understand that he wants to get that Bloodthirst to get the lifesteal, but the Last Whisper will be incredibly useful against the Poppy, and the next Dragon also coming onto the map in a minute. This is big for Null, because they are right now in the driving seat, and if they can take this Baron and this 5th Dragon, that's all but sealed the game for them.
Yeah, had that light binding from Rainwater landed just then onto Sebler, that would have been one dead Caitlyn, but he's going to be able to narrowly sidestep that one and keep himself on the map for now. 1 minute exactly until Dragon is going to be joining us once more on Summoner's Rift. But look at this positioning from XL. They know that that is on the cards, and they immediately make sure that they have control of this Baron area. They're going to make sure that it is at least a risk for the Null to take that Dragon.
Exactly. They want to make sure that they get something out of it if they do so choose. But I feel like it's a risky move to make, just because I feel that Prince Philip could probably win the Baron fight by himself versus the 5 members of XL, and then still allow his team to take the Dragon, which is up in 30 seconds. XL need to start positioning for this, because they will straight up lose it if they don't get into position for this Dragon. As Keys...
Yeah, Keys taking a huge chunk of damage from Prince Philip, who is not looking to end the onslaught anytime soon by the looks of things. He's just waiting for cooldowns, and he's probably just going to go. Again, he's looking for the slam against the wall, just waiting for that angle to show up. But take a look at this Dragon about to spawn, and Ayuki's positioning so aggressively to make sure that nobody from XL can contest this one.
They aren't even going to contest it.
They're going to get this for free.
Yeah, they aren't. It looks like Titanium Fang wants to go for a steal, but Ayuki, aggressive positioning, and XL have to give it up for free. That's the 5th Dragon in the game. Titanium Fang coming through.
He's looking for the steal, and it will be keeping them in the game if he can get it, but he's not going to find it. They're nowhere near Baron to punish that either, and Null Titans, for free, take control of a 5th Dragon to 0. XL haven't touched a Dragon yet this game.
Really, really, again, it just speaks volumes. Look at XL. This is the most wards I've seen them have on the map in the last 10 minutes. And to be honest, to be frank, I don't blame them. There is nothing they can do right now. They need time, and that's all they need. Time is the only thing that can save them at this point in time. But, you know, Caitlyn needs to get that Last Whisper. They need Gangplank to start basically one-shotting people. It is a really difficult position for XL to be in, and I kind of feel for them that, you know, that they want to fight with the composition that they have. They do have a good skirmishy, you know, poke-based teamfight composition, but they can't fight because they just lose every single skirmish that happens, mainly because of the influence of Prince Philip on this Poppy.
Yeah, speaking of, is just going to be pushing down in this bottom lane once more. He's just waiting for the cooldown on his CC right now so that he can just continue to beat this nuisance. Has his teleport available, so someone will have to come down here and deal with him. Looks like Keys is going to be nominated by his team, but I'm not sure there's a whole lot Keys can do about this.
And Keys hasn't really got that high AP value stuff that really shines in Lulu yet. He's got a Banner of Command, a Morella Nomicon, and a Rod of Ages. Rod of Ages is great, but ideally by this point you'd have, you know, Rabadons or the like. That's going to be Baron for free.
Newell are just running away with this one right now, and they're turning it into a fight, but actually the health bars are fairly low, but it doesn't seem to matter because it's only the jungler in support they're fighting against. Strong Dom is going to be going down here, Larkin in a 2 versus 1, but he should be more than comfortable with that Baron buff, with that Dragon buff, and in the meantime, Prince Philip is on the back line. He's looking for Recycle. The double kill comes out here for Ray and Morton. Recycle's going to go down. There's a triple as well. And that is going to be the Null Titans just shutting down XL.
It felt inevitable. For the last 10 to 15 minutes, it felt completely inevitable. This was just the only way this game was going to go. The team fights from Null Titans have just been far superior. Prince Philip's flanks have basically single-handedly won them for them, and it's all been because of their superior vision control. Either Ray and Mort got a pick and almost 100 to 0'd someone, or Prince Philip teleported to a fantastic ward placement and then flanked the fight and won it for them. So you just got to say well done to Null Titans. They have had consistent, amazing vision control throughout the entire of the game. They had superior team fighting, just with Ray and Mort making a pick beforehand, or Prince Philip coming in and locking down and getting on top of Caitlyn, and she just can't deal